Welcome back. Welcome back to Lucid Trading. You've seen the title. Is the stock market ready to potentially drop 10% before or after the CPI report that's going to be coming out? Now, there's a big reason that I've actually put the title, I set the title as it is. I do think we're seeing the indices struggle to move even higher. We're seeing a little bit of sideways movement. We just had earnings for the big corporations. And in my opinion, if anything goes wrong, we could see a pullback of roughly 5 to 10%. So we're going to have to be cautious here. And I do honestly think that this could happen. Look at the S&P. It's just skyrocketing. It has been skyrocketing for a while. And generally speaking, when it's overbought like this on a weekly basis, we tend to see a correction in the short term. The same thing is true about the Nasdaq, although I would say we've already seen big corrections for the Nasdaq. Several of them. Look at that. 12% correction right here. Another 8% correction right here. And that was this year. So if we do see a correction for the Nasdaq, I do see that being potentially around a 5% correction. I would say especially the S&P and the Dow Jones would be affected. But yeah, keep in mind, this is going to be mostly based off of what we're going to be seeing here with the actual CPI information. Jobless claims, pretty high. Jobs added, relatively low, I have to say. And there's no bullish catalyst in the short term that's going to be saving the market for a potential dip. So I have 40% of my own cash on the sidelines right now. just waiting for a dip. I got 60% of my portfolio in stocks, 40% in cash. So I am being a lot more cautious. We do have the 10-year dropping right now. Generally speaking, what happens when the 10-year is dropping, it basically means bonds are becoming more attractive, which then basically means that a lot of capital is moving to the bond market instead of the stock market, which inherently is not a good thing for stocks out there. So yeah, in my honest opinion, it looks like we're about to see a bit of a pullback coming up soon. I think most likely it'll be at the end of August. I thought we would see a pullback at the end of July, at the end of June. We had positive numbers for earnings. We had great news. Now we're hearing from Joe Biden that he's going to be delaying the moratorium eviction, the evictions. And that is also a very positive thing for the stock market. This is potentially going to be delaying the correction that we're bound to see here for the market. And it is time that we see a bit of a correction, right? It looks like the seasonality is going to be playing out here just perfectly. Usually we see a pullback in September. And I do think that around end of August, beginning of September, we could see a bit of a pullback. But it could happen as fast as the CPI, which is going to be, they're going to be publishing that report in about 5 days. So in about 5 days, we're going to know whether the CPI is going to be coming in really hot and we're going to see a massive sell-off, or whether it's going to be going down, which would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, regardless of it going up or down, it's rather uncertain. I personally don't want to take too much risk. This is why I have 60% of my portfolio in stocks and 40% in cash, so that I'm kind of hedged against any kind of downturn. And I can't give financial advice, right? So I'm not going to give financial advice. But if there's anything I can say is having some cash right now is a good idea. It is a good idea, especially given that there's a chance that inflation is actually going to be inflecting downwards in the coming days. I would say having some cash around would be proper, given that we have stocks sitting at all-time highs, right? We have big tech sitting at all-time highs, Nasdaq at all-time highs, S&P at all-time highs, Dow Jones at all-time highs. It's only the Russell that's actually not at the all-time high right now. But yeah, cash is your friend right now. Although it's a little bit contrarian, because a lot of people are like, yo, put your money in stocks and just don't do anything. Well, I think right now it's a good moment to have some cash around. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, anyway, welcome back to Lucid Trading. If you just joined, make sure you smash the like button. It helps out the channel immensely. So make sure you smash the like button. Also, if you just joined, let me know which stocks I should cover. Would appreciate it. So let me know in the live chat, which stocks should I cover? I'm going to be welcoming everybody that just joined. Welcome to John Smith, Oliver, Noah Bell, James, Cash, Tank Oil, OM Bassnet, Lucas Holmes, Lionel. Welcome, Lionel. Hugo, GSXR Rider, Tan, Jazzy YT, Die. Welcome to the stream. So Robinhood. Interesting stuff happening here with Robinhood. Robinhood is right now sitting at 64.5. Remember, I shorted Robinhood. I actually shorted Robinhood at $70. And I was up at some point because it was down a lot in the pre-market. At some point, Robinhood was down about, I think it was something like, it was something in the range of 10 to 15%. And I have some leverage on my shorts. So I think that is phenomenal. I don't think it's right now sitting at 64.5, is it? It's probably sitting at 66. Let me check the stock. I'm going to check. It is sitting at 65.1. Now, one of the main reasons Robinhood is going down is because it was pumped up. It was absolutely pumped up by Wall Street bets. The stock shot up to about $85, as much as $85, and then proceeded to instantly come down 35%, which is insane. So a lot of people sold at 85, and it's now sitting roughly around $65. Now, I think, obviously, even at 65, Robinhood could look lucrative, but I think what's going to happen over the coming days is most likely a bit of a swing to the downside, especially because we have CPI coming up. And not only that, I mean, obviously, this feels like a pumping up, right? So it's pumped up massively, and now it's starting to dump. And then we recently also had the news that the Robinhood insiders are planning to be selling roughly 100 million of shares. That's a lot of shares, and that can work incredibly dilutive. And so we're going to have to take a look at what's going to happen next regarding that. But yeah, remember, we made the trade, or at least I made the trade on Robinhood. I bought Robinhood at 35, 38, etc. Sold my Robinhood around 45, regrettably, because it did go up afterwards, but it went up on Wall Street bets buying the stock, which is quite unpredictable, right? So most people would have thought that Wall Street bets would be shorting the stock, given that Robinhood prevented people from selling their GameStop shares. So yeah, the unpredictable happened. It went to 80, went down, and I would say right now it's kind of right in the middle. Where does it go? If the stock market goes down, expect Robinhood to go down to 50. The stock market keeps skyrocketing prior to CPI, then there's a good shot it's going to go back to the 80s. Now, I think the latter is going to be kind of, I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's a chance it's going to go back to 50 first before it gets to the 80s again. But I think Robinhood for this year could be a $100 stock. I do think they have great fundamentals. They're growing really fast. I don't necessarily think that Robinhood is going to be sitting at $100, but it could definitely hit $100 and then pull back from that point. So that would be my my vision for Robinhood stock. To the people that just joined, welcome to Lucid Trading. Make sure you hit that like button on this beautiful Thursday morning prior to the market opening up. It is the 5th of August, and I am excited. There's some bullish news coming out about Tesla. It seems like there's just positive news coming out every single day about Tesla, which is, I like it, right? I think that's fantastic. Hold up. What the hell's happening in the pre-markets? Let me just briefly check. Yeah, so Tesla's actually up. It has not been updated in this app in the pre-market for some weird reason. But it should be sitting at 717. Up a percentage point. Now, remember what I said. Remember what I said regarding Tesla. There would be a retracement back to around 705, and this would be acting as support, and then it would consolidate right here for a couple days. We have a big catalyst coming up in about 2 weeks, which is going to be right here, the 19th of August. That's going to be AI Day. So I think for AI Day, we could definitely see Tesla stock go up to roughly around the upper 700s to about $800. So the possibility of that happening, in my opinion, is very high. And there's a good reason I've been saying this. We are seeing a reversal in Tesla stock, a massive massive reversal. Look at the MACD. This is the weekly MACD. It is crossing to the upside. This is a very, very positive signal. The last time this happened, Tesla stock went up over 100%. I don't think we're going to see a 100% move, but I could definitely see a 20 to 30% move coming up for the next months. Tesla stock is incredibly bullish right now. I think there are some people that are saying that Tesla stock is going to go down to $400. In fact, Tesla Q, which is, it's a group of people that think that Tesla's going to go bankrupt. Actually, that group is becoming more popular. So a lot more people are bearish on Tesla since we had the big move up in 2020. But I am super bullish in Tesla stock. I think we could see the $900 all-time high around November and December. So bullish on the stock to the freaking moon. I think Tesla is looking attractive even at the current prices of about 710. And the main reason I am, 717 right now, given the pre-markets. One of the main reasons I'm so bullish on Tesla is because last earnings, which they reported about a week ago, was beautiful. It was amazing. They pretty much blew out every single estimate just out of the water. Let's see if they actually updated it. There we go. Their Q2 earnings was coming in at $11.9 billion in one quarter. This is Q2. This isn't even Q3 or Q4. Q3, Q4 usually are the best quarters of the year. And Q2 is already coming in at pretty much $12 billion with a net income of $1.1 billion. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. They blew all the estimates. This is a record quarter. You can see right here. The previous record quarter was in Q4, which is the best quarter. So they blew out the Q4 record quarter of 2020 by a large margin, and they are more profitable. So I am super bullish in Tesla stock. I think we could definitely see higher levels coming up, so long as the market is not going to be failing us here. So that's kind of what I'm afraid of right now. For the CPI report, we could potentially see a bit of a downswing. But I would say the bearishness is going to really start kicking in around September. Because that's kind of between earnings. It's between Q2 and Q3. There's like this void, right? It's also kind of, lots of people are going to work again, go to school again, etc., etc. It's a seasonality issue. Roughly around September, we see pullbacks happen. It's like when we've seen, February, March tends to be a little bearish as well. In all likelihood, I think Tesla is going to be rallying significantly. There is no freaking reason for Tesla to be falling down massively at all. Although, I have to say, on the 4-hour, it does look like we're going to see a pullback short term. MACD is about to be crossing to the downside. So either we're going to get some positive news and it will rally, or we might see a bit of a pullback probably to around 690. Like I said, it's still kind of consolidating at that 700 range. So pullbacks could still happen, especially with that CPI coming up. And we still have about 2 weeks left. We have 2 weeks left until the CPI report, until AI Day. That's right after the CPI report. And so until then, we could see some consolidation. But I am expecting a move up here for Tesla stock. Something like this, most likely. Although that's a little too optimistic. The 19th is right here. Let me just quickly see. This seems to be proper resistance at the 780s, 790s, right? So what I could see is something like... Let me just draw it right here. This has been the trend line, right? And that trend line has been fairly accurate. Very accurate trend line for Tesla. Oh man, it does look like it could maybe come back to 680. Let's be a little bit bearish, 680, and then rally until the AI day. And this is going to be quite similar to what we have seen in the past with the battery day. We had a super massive rally for Tesla stock going into battery day, and then right after battery day, it fell off a cliff. And I think the same thing could be happening here, where we have AI day coming up, and then right after, it could pull back significantly. So this is my estimate right now, although it could still, skyrocket if the market goes up from here. But I am a little cautious here with the market because it's sitting at all-time highs. We're already, at very high levels. We just had earnings for big tech companies, and I'll say for most big cap companies already had earnings. But yeah, I would say I'm still quite positive that Tesla's going to be going to that upper 700 range within the next 2 weeks. So even if it drops to 670 or 680, that, in my opinion, that's going to be a solid buying opportunity. But yeah, keep in mind, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. We have a €5 donation coming in from Kirill Lakursky through PayPal. Thank you so much, Kirill. Gara, your thoughts about DIDI for today, the next week, and foreseeable future, please. Thank you for that donation, Kirill. We will take a look at DIDI stock in a moment. I just want to quickly start a poll right now about Tesla, obviously. Also, if you just joined, hit the like button. It takes about a second, and it really does help the channel. So smash a like. Let's get to 75 likes right freaking now. Do you guys think Tesla stock will reach $800 within the month of August? There we go. Cheers. All right. Some people are saying that Robinhood is going to go to $100 today. I mean, if you say so, I don't think it's going to happen, though. I really don't think it's going to happen. Okay, so I'll take a look at DIDI stock. I think that's one of the more exciting stocks out there, because DIDI, obviously, sitting at a relatively low market cap. It is down 0.4% in the pre-markets. And yeah, we had the China crackdown, regarding its cybersecurity issues. And it looks like DIDI is kind of consolidating right now around $9 to $10. It's kind of going flat. Sort of similar to what we saw right here. Right in this zone. Where it just consolidated and people are just kind of waiting and just being cautious. We don't know what's going to happen next. And, I mean, rightfully so. Anything could happen. Maybe they get delisted. Maybe something happens. But I would say, yeah, so it's kind of trading in a range. So for the foreseeable future, unless the market rallies or we see some good news, it could mean DIDI is going to be range bound short term. I'm not seeing any kind of trend, so it's just mostly sideways momentum, and it's mostly downside. Yeah, we're seeing downside for DIDI stock. It's sort of upholding around 9.6, but actually fell through that. So maybe short term it could get back to 9.3. That could be a possibility. But I do expect it to get back to the, let's see, eventually get back to around 11.5. I think it's going to break to the upside, potentially in roughly 2 to 3 weeks. I'll say rather 2 weeks. I don't think that investigation is going to be taking way too long. Yeah, so I'm going to say, yeah, it's going to be sideways, consolidating maybe for the coming days, today and tomorrow in this range. Could be some downside, but eventually coming back up. I think next week is going to be more exciting for DIDI as we're getting closer and closer to this crackdown on DIDI ending. And that's kind of what we're waiting for. Because when it ends, we finally know what's going to happen. Because there's some uncertainty regarding that. We have no idea what the Chinese government is going to be doing. They could, give DIDI a penalty of $3 billion or $2 billion, who knows, or delist DIDI. And so that's what's really pushing back investors and retail investors or institutions to be buying DIDI stock, especially with all the FUD going on with just China and Chinese companies being cracked down upon. But I think in general, DIDI is still very cheap. I like the stock. I think it will reach, so long as it doesn't get delisted, I think it's going to be able to reach $20 to about $25 by the end of this year. I think it's going to be a high probability that happens. Yeah, so we'll have to see. But that's all I can say about DIDI at the moment. Cheers for that donation. And yeah, guys, if you want me to take a look at your stock, then hit me up in the live chat. Let me know which stock do you want me to look at. And also, make sure you hit that like button right here, right now. Market opening up in about 23 minutes. Oh, boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I cannot wait. Like, I am actually very curious what's going to be happening with Robinhood. I'm actually looking at the pre-market numbers. Looks like Robinhood is still down 7.4%. Yeah, so we drew this trend line the other time, and I said that this trend line would be upheld. So if it goes down, it would go down to around 65. It's currently sitting at 65, sitting right around the trend line. If it rejects the trend line, guess what? It's going to come down. First, it's going to come down to 61, maybe bounce again, but it will drop all the way to 55. So if we see Robinhood stock rejecting the trend line, it could drop another, I would say 10 to 15%. And that would be incredibly bloody. But yeah, keep in mind, this stock was pushed up. It was pushed up immensely by the Wall Street Bets crowd. So it wouldn't be a surprise if it were to fall right after the pump. And that would be a pump and dump, right? We already have CNBC, Bloomberg, and all these other media outlets calling Robinhood a bit of a pump and dump. Keep in mind, I am changing my sentiments on Robinhood, like literally on the hour, since, you know, I was bullish at 34. I was bullish at 45. But now it's sitting at 60. It's sitting at 65. Which, in my opinion, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of gain short-term in Robinhood stock at this moment. But we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe it gets cheaper. If it's at 55, I mean, I'm going to grab some shares. No problem. Virgin Galactic down 0.4%. See if that's actually the case. Yeah, Robinhood going down 8% right now. No, actually, no. Virgin Galactic's actually just... Gara, did you buy back your shorts? I did not buy back my shorts. I have... Well, I'm not actually shorting, but I have contracts. It's pretty much contracts that I'm using, which indicate that if it goes down, I'll profit from that. I did not get out of these shorts yet. I will be getting out of these shorts probably at market open. I don't dare to stay in these shorts because I do think Robinhood could move up over the coming weeks. But yeah, it's a massive gain. I have to say that. I mean, looking pretty good. At some point, it was as high as like 60% on the contracts, which is phenomenal. Palantir, the classic Palantir, just going sideways. We have an asymmetrical triangle, like all these fancy terms in technical analysis. It's still indicating that we will be. It's rising, right? So one could also call this a rising wedge. Yeah, Palantir stock, I think, is pretty bullish. It's pretty bullish. It's a matter of time. We have earnings coming up for Palantir. We have some share dilution from Alex Karp. It's not going to matter, though. I think it's not going to matter. If they report profits for earnings, it's going to shoot to 30 like that. So I'm still kind of I've been buying Palantir stock like crazy. If it gets back to 21, I will be loading up on Palantir shares. But for now, I'm just kind of in this wait and see mode. We'll see what happens. You went against the pump. That's the thing, right? I mean, I look at the fundamentals. I'm like, what's the fundamental value of a Robinhood? Probably around 50 to 60 billion max short term. And then if it's sitting there, I'm like, hey, it could pull back, right? It jumped like 120% in a couple days' time. What's the probability that we'll see a bit of a pullback? That's pretty high. And then we also had some negative news coming out from some media outlets that Robinhood insiders are actually going to be they're going to be selling their stock. They're going to be selling their stock like crazy. And that's exactly what's happening to the stock right now. It's being diluted. Yeah. Oh well. What's happening with AMC? Remember, AMC went below $30, and I warned everybody. I have been warning people for months that AMC was a pump and dump, and that once the hype was over, it would drop significantly. Remember those days when I was streaming at 60 and I shorted this stock and it got so much hate. Gara, why are you shorting AMC? It's going to go to $100,000. Well, guess what? It's sitting at 29. It closed at 29.8. It's sitting at 30.6. And I still think it's going to come down further. Although, keep in mind, short term, it could bounce. You know, we have earnings coming up. So I would not be surprised if Robinhood would come back to around 35, 36. Something like that. Could still be the case. Because it is incredibly oversold at the moment. So, yeah, something like this. Unless they really surprise on earnings, which I doubt, but... Alright. BNGO. Okay, so let me just check which stocks people want to see. BNGO, SoFi, ChargePoint. What's happening with BNGO? We had earnings for BNGO, right? Let me take a look at that. Oh, yeah, so it's doing the opposite of what I thought. That happens from time to time. Let me just delete this. I thought it was going to be zooming back up for earnings. That did not happen. We're actually seeing the opposite of that play out. But keep in mind, looking at the daily, it looks like we're now sitting at the 200-day moving average. Historically speaking, that 200-day moving average does act as a support. And it's sitting right on that 200-day moving average, 5.7. They already had earnings, right? Why can I not see what their earnings was like? That's kind of sad. Yeah, I think it was after the market closed yesterday. I mean, at least we're not seeing it go down significantly. That's a good thing. That is a pretty good thing. This is a support zone. I don't think it's going to leave that unless the market comes down. So if the market does come down for the CPI, we could see it go lower. But I still think it's going to zoom back up to around $6.57, regardless of anything that we're seeing here. Well, I'm going to have to check earnings for BNGO. Give me one moment. Let's see. BNGO earnings. How did they do? Reports Q2 loss, tops revenue estimates. That's a good thing. Let me just check. Bionano Genomics came out with a quarterly loss of 0.06 per share versus the Zacks consensus estimate of 0.05. This compares to a loss of 0.09 per share a year ago. These figures are adjusted for non-recurring items. A surprise of minus 20%. Right, so, yeah. Okay, so they did have more revenue, but they lost more money. That's kind of the gist of things. And that could be the reason why it's down. The EPS was down. I don't think it's gonna. It was not a terrible quarter. Like we didn't see anything super negative. So I still think Bionano Genomics could be bouncing back up short term. Like no doubt about that. Let me just see if there's anything I can show here. Right. So short term, I expect it to maybe come down to around 5.4, 5.5, and then zoom back up. So something like that. Back to around the 6.5 maybe. Yeah, we have CPI coming up on the 10th. So I think until then it's going to be sitting pretty low. And then right after, I don't think the CPI is going to be that bad. I think it's going to be quite good. Because we had really high CPI recently. So the chance of us seeing lower is quite great. Fiverr got smoked, somebody says. By the way, we have 15 minutes. 15 minutes until the market opens up. Once again, let me know which stock should I cover. And also, tap that like button. Let's see what the poll was doing. And as we're doing that, let me take a look at Tesla. Nothing happening there. So we had a question for everybody out there. Do you guys think Tesla stock will reach $800 within the month of August? 43% of people said yes. 40% of people said no. And we have 17% of people saying that only if CPI is good, that Tesla would be reaching $800. I'm going to have to side with the group that said yes. I think it's very much possible it's going to be hitting $800. But there's still a lot of people saying no. That's 39% of people saying no. And 17% of people just straight up doubting it's going to do that. So that is interesting. I thought a lot more people would be bullish. But yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting. Let me end that poll so you guys can see the results. See what's happening to Lucid. Lucid is doing nothing as expected. XBank going down. We have Li Auto going down. Neo slightly down. Yeah, the Chinese EV stocks already had a rally. I mean, look at what happened with XBank. Incredible rally since May until July for XBank. We had the same thing happen for Li Auto. And we have probably the same thing happen for Neo too. Yeah, so we already had significant rallies for these stocks. So they're kind of consolidating until we see big catalysts come in. Or maybe the Chinese stock market goes up. Or maybe the NASDAQ goes up. Or Tesla goes up. Like, these are catalysts that could push these stocks higher. And until then, I think they're going to go sideways. I would say especially NIO, since NIO's deliveries were not as high as expected. See how big tech is doing. Apple going sideways. Facebook going sideways. Microsoft. Google. I still think Google's ready to drop. Although this is kind of embarrassing. Amazon bouncing right back up. Netflix. Yeah, I'm very bearish on Netflix. Unless they like come out with some big news, I don't think Netflix is going to go anywhere. All right. Yeah, so the reason I'm bearish on Tesla short term, like the coming days, is because on the 10th we have the CPI report, and not only that, we are seeing on the technicals that Tesla on the MACD is about to cross downwards. Although keep in mind, in the pre-market, Tesla's upper percentage point, but yeah, it is the pre-market, so we'll see if that's going to be actualized. On the 1 hour, it is still bearish, but it's consolidating. And on the daily chart, I mean, it could pull back slightly. That's what I'm trying to say. So a slight pullback, and then after CPI, a big pump towards the upper 700s and potentially around $800 for AI Day, which is going to be around the 19th. The 19th of August is going to be AI Day, which should be a massive catalyst. I do think there's a really big chunk of the market cap of Tesla that's being priced in for full self-driving. And so AI Day is going to be facilitating this. And I'm very excited about that. One moment, let me just quickly... Okay, cool. We have 10 minutes left until the market's going to be open. Smash that like button. I wonder how often he's right. Seems to have 2 bad predictions here. What percent does Gara get correct? I don't know. Let's make a poll about this. What percentage of times is Gara right? I want to see what people's opinions are. Let's just start off with like something bearish, like 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. I think that would be interesting. Make sure you vote. I'm green in my portfolio. I've been gaining just the past 2 years. My portfolio has been going up and up and up and up. So I'm actually quite curious what people are going to be voting. It would be funny if I get like, yeah, he's only correct 25% of the time. Well, like how does that explain the fact that well, I think honestly you can have a 25% rate, but if in that 25% you made big trades, and in the 75% that you were wrong, you made small trades, that could make the difference. It could literally make the difference. It's like, yeah. So the rate that you're correct, it matters, but then again, it depends on the size of the trades that you make. Because that one trade where you put all your money, or like a big chunk of your money, and you're right on that, that could make the massive, like a super massive difference in where your portfolio goes. And likewise, on the opposite side of things, if you have a lot of money on a position that goes down a lot, well, guess what? You can have a 75% correct, that you guess it correct, and then, yeah, your portfolio is like minus 20,000 or something. All right. Whew, 9 minutes. 9 minutes until the market opens. I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. Robinhood is down 8.5% in the pre-markets. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, there you go. Robinhood's still heading down. Fascinating. Let me delete this. Create a new trend line for this stock. There we go. Virgin Galactic down slightly. What is happening with the Chinese stocks? Alibaba still heading up. Look at that. Pump, dump, pump, dump. Interesting. Baidu. Nothing happening here. DIDI down 0.5 percentage point. So yeah, it looks like the Chinese stocks are still getting beaten down. Although BYD had a good time recently. massive run up of 40% just the past couple of days. Congrats to anybody holding BYD. It's been a very successful trade. Let's see. All right, so I asked you guys, what percentage of times is Gara right? 16% of people said 25%. Damn, that's a lot of people, I think. Because I am profitable. Well, whatever. This is my ego speaking, right? 50% of people say that. Oh, 43% of people say that I am 50% of the time right. I think that's about right. You know, between 50% and something like 70% recently, because I mean, I have to say the growth stocks have been doing absolutely horrendously. 37% of people say that I am 75% of the time right, and we have 2% of people saying 100%. I don't know. I'm not 100% right. I mean, I don't think anybody's 100% right, but I just put it in there, you know, for the people that want to be like hyper bullish on me or Lucid Trading. Yeah, I have this trading app. It's called Bucks. I think it says that I have a 70% of my trades are successful, like profitable. But that goes back 5 years, including the 2-3 years that I was actually a novice. So over the period of 5 years, I've had a 68% rate of profitability. And then we're talking like the first 3 years, I had no idea what I was doing. And then the last 2 years, that's when I was really profitable, as I actually mastered what I would say mastered. What's the right word for that, right? Just getting better at what you do. Having enough experience to actually make profits. You don't invest in all of your predictions. No, I don't. I would have a very tough time if I would invest in every single prediction that I made. That would be very difficult. Robinhood down 9.4%. Ugh, ugly. Good thing I'm shorting it. But we'll see. It could actually shoot up like 20%. You never know. We've seen Robinhood go up like 60 or 70% yesterday. So anything is possible at this point. Tesla is going flat like a pancake. Here we go. All right. AMC is mooning. Oh, wow. AMC going up 4% after it dropped more than 50%. I mean, honestly, this is such a death trap. So many people are underwater with AMC right now. It's ridiculous. What can you do, man? Like, that's what happens. That's the stock market. Yeah, you can't really stop people from doing what they do. But I have to say, I mean, I did warn about it several times. There we go. We got a $2 donation from Inan Ajiba. Inan says, please check Microvision. Sure. All right, let's take a look at Microvision. Microvision. Okay, remember what we said last time, right? So we said there was going to be a downturn right prior to earnings, and then it bounced to the upside for earnings. And there we go. That's a move of about 20%. Congrats to anybody holding Microvision. This is a beautiful trade. I personally was not in Microvision. I don't really like Microvision that much, to be honest. But yeah, that was a very profitable trade. That's good stuff. I do think that there is a probability that it's going to fall back down, just on the basis that it's sitting at a resistance area. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of a push to the downside here to 13.5. We'll see. Maybe even $13, actually. This seems to be a support zone, so bit of a move to the downside during market open. That's what I'm seeing here. Unless, the Wall Street Bets crew is going to pump it up again. We'll see if that's going to be the case. But, yeah, earnings was bad, apparently. Surprise of 63%. Wow. Ouchies. That is painful. Let's see what's happening to Tesla. Tesla up 0.6%. Not very impressive. Like I said, 4 hours looking like the MACD is going to cross to the downside. But we do have big catalysts coming up. But I think there's a chance it's going to go down right prior to the CPI report, which is going to be on the 10th of August. And we have a weekend in between that, so it's going to be next week, Monday or Tuesday. And what's happening with Robinhood? Robinhood down 9.3%. What's happening to AMC? AMC up 4% right before earnings, which we did say that was going to happen. C3.ai, flat like a pancake. Flat like a pancake so far. Lucid Motors up 1.5%, sitting at that lower $20 range. Like I said, this arrow was meant to depict that if Tesla would shoot up, Lucid Motors would shoot up, but that has not happened. And I would say for the most time period, it will be sitting at the lower 20s. Alrighty. I want to actually cover Robinhood or Tesla. Let me know in the live chat, which one should I cover right before market opens? Tesla or Robinhood? I'm right now on Tesla. See if I can go to the 1 minute. See what happens here. And there is about 2 minutes left until market open. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. One minute left until market open, and most people are now saying that I should cover Tesla prior to the market opens. So we're going to cover Tesla. Remember what I said, there's a good chance it could go down. Christy Kenny coming in with a €4 donation through PayPal. Thank you so much, Christy. I think Christy actually said something in the live chat. I don't think I can find it anymore. Darn it. Oh well. Market opening up in a couple seconds. I am a little nervous, I have to say. When am I not nervous, right? But yeah, the markets are just sitting at all-time highs, so pullbacks are going to be... There's a high probability we're going to see pullbacks coming up. And I am prepared for that. You know, I've got 40% of my portfolio in cash. So... And the market is now officially open. Let's ring that bell. Let's go. Tesla sitting at 716. Looking a little bit weak right now. Looking a little bit weak, I have to say. Oh, let me just close it. 715, 716, climbing, still climbing. I'm editing some things in my portfolio right now. Yeah, so I made a big profit on Robinhood right now. Wow, it's beautiful. Made $3,000 in profit from Robinhood, going down almost 15. It was down more than that. Oh my gosh, I had 5%. I had 5 times leverage on Robinhood. So yeah, looking pretty solid. Let's see, that's one of my better trades. See which stocks are looking interesting. Is AMD still heading up? No, it's going down. Darn it. Yeah, I'm gonna buy some Palantir, I think. What else should I get? Let me check. Yeah, so I made roughly $3,500 on Robinhood going down to the 58. I'm going to be buying some more C3. Alright. That should be it. I bought more Palantir, bought more C3.ai. Shorted Robinhood again, actually, after I got out. So we'll see how that trade is going to play out. It's still heading down. Look at that, 63.9. Ugh. Well, there's this guy that's just posting bearish stuff the whole time in a live chat. Let me just ban that guy. It's like, we're about positive vibes, positive energy. Losing money in the market is a very frequent thing. Posting on several freaking occasions about how your stock is going down. And nobody cares. Frankly, nobody cares. Everybody loses money in the market. I have lost money in the market more times than I can remember. Oh boy. Palantir's starting to move. Palantir's starting to move. Interesting. Thought we were covering Tesla. Yeah, sorry. So what happened was I shorted Robinhood from, I think, this range right here. I had a couple $1,000s in Robinhood with 5 times leverage. Shorted it all the way. It went down 15%. It's going down again. I've got a short position benefiting from that. I'm going to get out of that short position right now. Right about now. I'm going to take my profit and run away. That's what I'm going to do. To quickly adjust things. Let's get back to Tesla. Oh, Tesla's moving. Look at that. Tesla moving up. 720. Hell yeah, let's go. Oops. 719.9. Should I buy more Palantir? I think I should. Or some more Tesla. AI is sitting pretty low as well. We have AMC sitting at 30.6. What's happening with Robinhood sitting at 63.6 again? AMD is sitting at 116. Nvidia, what the freaking hell? What is happening with Nvidia? It's skyrocketing. Yeah, it's going to keep on going up for earnings. Tesla sitting at 717. Kind of looking at another stock that I want to buy. Yeah, Robinhood's still heading down. Big oof. That's what happens when Wall Street Bets pumps a stock. I mean, it's almost impossible for it to stay stable at this price after it was pumped up. Let's see. Robinhood coming back down again. And I'm so happy I was able to sell like most or buy back most of my positions on Robinhood fairly quickly after it went down. Okay, so Robinhood, let's just forget Robinhood for now. Take a look at Tesla. Tesla's sitting at 716.4. Right. Yeah, it's kind of just gonna consolidate right now. Nothing really exciting happening. Although the MACD is crossing, so maybe we can see a bit of a pop. AMC below 30 again. Look at that, 29.7. AI is sitting at 48.6 right before the CPI. Palantir down 0.3%. That is kind of harsh. Yeah, that looks like we could potentially see a drop off, as the technicals are not looking that good on the daily chart. Even on the weekly chart, looking pretty weak. Although what I really like about Palantir is that, like, relative to its competitors, I think Palantir is giving a lot of value for its market cap. Let's see what Pinterest is up to. So I'm still positive that we could see a jump in Palantir stock for earnings to the 27. We'll have to see, though, as it's actually ascending upwards, right? We've seen higher highs. No, I mean, like, higher lows. And not necessarily lower highs, I would say. It's just like about equal, double top right there. So that 22.8 tends to be the resistance. So, like, my opinion on this is still like huge parabolic rally to the upside. That's going to be on the 12th of August. And I think what's really going to dictate this is, I would say primarily it's going to have to do with the CPI report, because that's going to be right prior to earnings for Palantir. Check Sava, which is probably a meme stock at this point. Yeah, we said it was going to go up, hit the 140s, then it came back down. Now people are hoping it's going to go up. I mean, it could fill the gap to $100. That is still in the books. Like, that could happen. But I would say for the most part, it looks like it's kind of cooling off after the massive rally that we've seen. So yeah, maybe hit 100 short term. Maybe. There we go. Tesla coming back down again, as expected. Yeah, MACD is, it's just looking too bad. Like, technicals are looking bad on the short term for the coming days, right? So I don't think this is going to last long. But just for the coming days, I would not be surprised if it would actually get a little worse. Let's see. Big tech is selling off. The Nasdaq is about to go negative again. Look at that massive jump in the Russell. The Russell is up 1%, but we're not seeing a whole lot of positivity right now. Nano Dimension is up 1.6%. BNGO down from earnings, 2.2%. We have Robinhood coming back to 62. Virgin Galactic only up a percentage point. And yeah, for the most part, I mean, it looks like the big banks are heading up because the 10 years, the 10 years actually heading up right now. This benefits the banks. 1.8% for the 10-year. And we have the recovery stock slightly heading up. But yeah, AI still down, sitting at 48.6. Palantir sitting at 22.2, flat, straight up flat. It looks like Tesla's looking bad for the coming days. So yeah, can I say? This is all happening prior to the CPI. I mean, no wonder. There's a lot of people that are afraid that the CPI is going to be shooting up. That we're going to be seeing significant inflation, which in turn would be really bad for growth stocks. I would say relatively bad in comparison to the counterparts. Well, DIDI is also down 2.6% today, so it's coming straight to that level that we said it was going to be dropping off to. Let me check my portfolio. Yeah, I'm buying more C3, I'm buying more Palantir, I'm buying more Tesla, I'm also buying more DIDI stock. I might buy some Robinhood stock coming up if it gets back to that mid-50 range. But I'm kind of waiting for that to happen, so. What's happening with AI? Still down. Palantir coming back up, look at that. Palantir, the champion. Danny coming in with a €2 donation. Danny says, can you do SoFi for the next couple months and weeks? I'll take a look at SoFi in a second. Thank you for that donation, Danny. Let me check SoFi Technologies. I think a lot of people are holding SoFi right now. All right, so what did we say? We said it was going to be moving to the $17, $18 range for earnings. And honestly, that still stands. I do think it's going to get back to around $17, $18. And keep in mind, we covered SoFi since it was sitting at 14.8. It's now sitting at like 16.3. That's already like a 10 to 15% gain. Yeah, so I think it's going to rally for earnings as we had proper, I'll say positive news recently, and it's just down so much from the recent highs. So it's a bit of a bargain. Although keep in mind, it was pumped up because of Wall Street bets. So, yeah. So for the foreseeable future, possibly get back to around $17, $18. And then depending on the earnings report, I mean, I can't really say anything because that earnings report is going to be dictating what's going to happen. We also have a CPI report coming on the 10th, which will have a severe impact on companies like SoFi. So I don't want to make any estimations of what's going to happen after earnings, not any crude ones. But I think we could see a rally back to maybe $20. I think that is very much possible for SoFi for this month. Looking at the daily chart, the technicals are indicating that, hey, I mean, it's right around neutral. So long as they report good earnings and the CPI is going to be not too bad, it could get back to around 20, which is right on here. But that's my opinion on SoFi right now. For a long-term prediction, I mean, I would have to probably check this company out like straight up to its to the tiny details. That would take way too long. Gara, I've been holding the bag on BNGO since February. I have 10,000 at 11.3. I should have sold at $15. F my life. I warned about this. I remember warning about this, and it's a very normal thing, right? So there's a lot of hype. Everybody's buying the stock. Everybody's hyping up the stock. I don't think 11 is super high. I think if you would have bought at 15, that's really high. I think it could get back to 10 or $11 within this year. I do think it's a possibility that we could see that happen around November, December. But yeah, that's a really high price for PNGO at the moment. That would be one of my price targets for this year, for it to go back around to $10 or $11. But yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of time. Patience is going to be needed. They do have earnings that have growing revenues, and I do think what they're doing is going to be pretty much the future. But yeah, they burn a lot of money. They burn a lot of money, and CPI is kind of, every time that CPI is going up, BNGO is going to go down. So, and inflation has been quite rampant. So we'll have to be patient here, because once CPI is going to be inflecting downwards, it's going to be benefiting the growth stocks a lot. All right, so we had a poll running. What percentage of times is Gara right? 28% of people said that I'm 25% of the time right. So that means that only 25% of the time I'm going to be right. And that's more than 1/4 of people that's saying this. Cheers. 38% says 50%. 29% of people say that I'm right or 75%, and 4% think I'm going to be right 100% of the time. I'm going to tell you one thing. I mean, my profit rates on an app that I use for the past 5 years tells me that the trades that I made, 68% of them, and this is including when I was a novice, when I just started out like 5 to 6 years ago, 68% of those trades were profitable. But yeah, this is just me bragging, right? Oh yeah, I'm so profitable. Wow. It doesn't matter. Like, it really does not matter. The only thing that really matters is how much you put in the trade and what the return is. So the returns are more important. Oh, there we go. All right. Smash the like button, by the way. Make sure you smash that like button if you are awesome. And awesome you are if you smash the like button. So let's get to 200 likes right here, right now. If everybody that's currently watching would just take a second of their time, just a second, right? And would just move that mouse up to that like button and would click the like button, we would instantly get to like 400 likes. I'm pretty sure about that. So make sure you do that. Also, once again, let me know which stocks you want me to take a look at. I'm looking at the live chat. Let me know. Tesla sitting at 715. It's doing nothing. It's consolidating. I've been saying this for a couple days. After this massive move of about 15%, of course it's going to consolidate. It makes perfect sense. DIDI I think it's DIDI that's coming up right now, isn't it? No, it's not actually. Is it the market going down? No, the market is actually heading up. Look at that. The Nasdaq is up 0.25%. We have the S&P going up 0.3%. Dow Jones going up 0.4%. The Russell. Everything is heading up right now, which is kind of interesting because, well, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of red. Chinese stocks are all down. Value stocks are kind of flat. Okay, I'm not seeing that much red, actually. It's fairly doable. Big tech mostly green. We have the growth tech stocks. Palantir starting to become more green. AI still negative. I mean, how many negative days have we had for AI? Like, it's been... Okay, so that's a 26% move to the downside, then an 8% move to the downside. It's been so... It has been so incredibly negative. Unbelievable. But this is the new price range that it's trading at. So we're going to have to keep that in mind for AI stock. Right, so that is the... There we go. Something like this. We'll see. That has been the trading range. If we see a big positive catalyst, I wouldn't be surprised if it were to move up 50%. And a 50% gain from here, I mean, that would be phenomenal. And it's already starting to move up. Meanwhile, Robinhood is coming down again, sitting at 60.7. Look at that red candle. It is coming down. Tesla slowly heading up with the market going up as it is. Interesting, but still consolidating. Oh yeah, by the way, Fastly actually... was it Fastly? Was it Fastly or something else? I think it was Fastly, right? Yeah, Fastly reported terrible earnings. And it went down. There we go. Yeah, so Fastly now sitting at 34.2. I think Fastly could be a potential swing trade to the upside. I mean, they have a market cap of $4 billion. Revenues are, I mean, they're still growing, although growing slower than expected. So could potentially be a swing trade to the 40s. That would be a almost 20% gain. I would say 15% gain. So yeah, that's a possibility right now for Fastly. Maybe a bounce back to 40 short term. Yeah, these are big hedge funds that are getting out of this stock really fast. So, oops. Tesla 716. We have a bit of a run-up on Lucid Motors after it hit the 50-day moving average. Actually, this is the 100-day moving average. Sorry. The 100-day moving average, and it's bouncing up slightly. XPeng, Li Auto, both of them are down 2 to 3%. NIO is up slightly. And Tesla. Tesla up 0.7%. But nothing significant so far. AMC still struggling. C3.ai is also struggling. Palantir up 0.4%. Good stuff. I think there's a merger coming up for RTP. I have bought into this potential merger that's going to be happening up. So, see what happens there. We have a... I have no idea what that currency is, but a 25 RON donation from Bogdan M. And Bogdan says, "Hey Gara, what is your opinion for skills? Long and short term, thank you. What about the market overall?" Right, so skills is one of the growth stocks, right? So it will be affected by CPI as well. And yeah, earnings was really bad. All right, yeah, that's really bad. I mean, it was already beaten down, and then you have earnings coming in really bad. Yeah, so it's down a percentage point, sitting at 12. You know, Kathy Wood, I believe, go out of skills. They do have growing revenues, but they also have a lot of money that they're burning. And guess what? If CPI is going to be coming in higher than expected, this company is going to go down even further. And so that's why people are getting out of it, because if that happens, I mean, who wants to hold the bag, right? Like, let's be real. Yeah, so $10 super support right there. Let's check the retracements, right? Yeah, $10. Looks like it's going straight to $10 if this keeps being the case here. I would say, okay, so it's going to go one of two ways, obviously up or down, but in the case that CPI will be bad, it's going straight to $10. There's no doubt about that. In the case where CPI is good, I think it's going to go back to $13.5, $14 short term. That's where the trend is currently sitting at. So I'm going to be an optimist, back to $13 to $14. Recover a little bit, maybe consolidate around $14 and $15 for skills. That's all I'm going to say here for skills, because we still have to wait for that CPI report. Remember last time we had the CPI report? This is what happened for skills. It went down 22%. That was on the incredibly bad CPI report that we got, that, you know, inflation was in fact heading even higher. So, well, if you would count this in, I mean, it's down like 33%, but yeah. Good CPI means skills is going to go up, bad CPI means it's going to go down. The Soulmate's coming in with a $2 donation and says, "Where is Apple going from here?" Well, I think, yeah, it did go down, right? But we have the dividend coming up. I think it's going to go down. Probably go down to the 143, the lower 140s, and just move sideways for a bit. That's all I can say about Apple right now. I mean, earnings pumped it up, and I mean, look at this pump. Apple pretty much went up 21.75%, and it has a market cap of 2.4 trillion. So yeah, I do expect it to come down slightly to the 143, and maybe just consolidate for the time being. Para Invest says, "Good morning. Breaking news: Palantir's partner with WFP, World Food Program. That should be good, right? So the more partnerships we see, the more catalysts that we have for Palantir, it should be able to rise quite a significant amount." Let's see what's happening here with Robinhood. Robinhood's still sitting at 60.9. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. A lot of people are getting absolutely wrecked on Robinhood. Especially the people that bought at 80. AMC now sitting at 29. And it's still heading lower. Tesla's pulling back. Cryptos are pulling back too. Look at that. Bitcoin down 4.6%. Ethereum down 1.7%. Cardano 1.5%. Coinbase heading down also because of the cryptos heading down. I want to check what the Bitcoin miners are doing. Marathon 28.2. Riot also down to 3.5%. That is sort of painful. They have not been moving. BNGO coming back up. Let's go. BNGO going up because the Russell is in the green. The Russell 2000 is up 1.2%, and BNGO is taking off 1.2% right now. We have Palantir heading up, Snowflake is heading up, Nano Dimension up 2.5% as well. And I think it's going to go up for earnings. Although, keep in mind, on the 10th of August, we have that CPI. That's also when Nano Dimension is going to be reporting their earnings. Let's see what Palantir's doing. 22.4. I think Palantir should be able to run up for earnings with the recent good news that we've been getting. But hey, I mean, the opposite has been happening almost for the longest time, so we'll have to see if that happens. I mean, there is also a chance that Wall Street Bets is going to come back into this stock. They could push it up significantly. So yeah, C3 is pretty much sitting at the all-time lows. Look at that, all-time lows at the moment for C3. There is no love for AI. At least not so far. I actually recently bought $5,000 worth of options with some leverage. It's 2 times leverage, right? So it's not that significant, but yeah, I'm hoping for a potential 50% upswing for the next weeks. Oh yeah, I have actually forgot to check my PayPal. Let me just quickly check, because I do think a lot of people actually just recently donated. Robinhood at 61.4. Interesting. What's happening with the Russell? Yeah, the Russell's heading up. It's sitting around a resistance level of 2,220, 210, and it's falling a little bit now. All right, so we have a donation from Koamat Dang. It's a €15 donation. Thank you so much for that. Koamat Dang says, Gara, I got some call options on SE. Any thoughts? Thanks, man. Thank you, man. That is awesome. We'll take a look at SE in a second. We'll have a bit of an overlook here. AI is starting to move up, sitting at 49. Nice. Palantir also heading up now, but not significantly. We're not seeing these significant runs that we have seen at the end of 2020. Right. So it's up 3.8%. What did I say about this? I think I said that it was going to be reaching the 300s, and that would be it. It would stop rallying. It is going up. It's sitting at 305, and it's actually above my estimate, which is nice. Looking at SE right now. Yeah, so the 4 hours is looking really bullish. We could actually draw a line between all these stops. Like, straight up. Although it's not quite there, right? So it could move maybe a couple percentage points. We have earnings coming up as well. I'm going to have to say, I think there's a good shot of it actually hitting around 310, 320 for earnings. But I do think it's going to come back down right after. So I'll be very careful holding this stock at the moment. That's the short term right now. But they have had awesome earnings on a quarterly basis. Relative to their revenue, I don't think they're burning that much money, right? So they have revenues of 1.7 billion. It's a growth company. There's 420 million that they're burning. And the amount that they're burning is also going down. That's a very good thing, because and look at this, Q1, their Q1 revenue is significantly higher than their Q4 revenue, which usually Q4 tends to be the best quarter. So it does seem like we're going to see another I'd say 5% before it drops for SE. But that's currently what I'm seeing. Although it could still drop anytime if the market drops. So it's a bit of a risky play. All right, Palantir is up 0.8%. And C3 is about to go positive too. Good stuff. Let me check my portfolio. Can we finally have a rally for Palantir? Like, seriously. Or it's like, I bet like Alexander Karp is like sitting behind his trading desk, and then every single time this stock goes up, it's like, you know what, let me just sell some of my Palantir stock, or like exercise my options. Darn it. I don't think that's exactly happening, but you know, it really does feel like that's happening, because every time there's a pop to the upside, it drops instantly. And I mean, I can point out several times when this happened, right? Pop to the upside, drops. Pop to the upside, drops. Pops, drops. Pops, drops. Although we had this massive rally here. That was beautiful. I mean, 50% to the upside. I miss those days. That was fantastic. Let's see. C2 has really low volume. It's only 300k. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. We shall see. We have a $2 donation from Kishore Shrestha through PayPal. QuantumScape went 30% down since I bought. What are your thoughts on QuantumScape? Cheers. Thank you for that. I'll take a look at QuantumScape right here. Let's see. I have been wrong about this in the past. But yeah, keep in mind, I've actually been bullish on this when it was sitting at like 24. So I was a little over optimistic. Why did it go down? Prior to CPI, right? So, and it had bad earnings, so it's going flat. Yeah, if you're down on QuantumScape, you probably bought in this zone right here, which is 30. I mean, that's a very high price. Still, they don't have that much revenue. 8.9 billion in market cap, and the RSI is still neutral, which is a bit problematic. It's not quite oversold yet. This is like the other growth stocks that we've covered. If CPI is bad, well, guess what? It's going to come down to the support level that's below the current price, which could be roughly around... Oops, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. To be frank, I think it's very difficult to get this straight. Let me just do several times. All right. So what's the most frequent top that we've had? Something like this. It's very hard to do this because there's like nothing happening here. Most of the price action was right here. Oh, oops. Yeah, 18.5. Upside potential would maybe run to... Right. 32, 33. So I'm kind of thinking about, like, if CPI is really bad, drop to around $18. If it's really good, I think we could see a bit of a rally to 25, some corrections, but eventually get back to the 30s. That would take a couple months, probably at the end of September. So yeah, so it will take a lot of time. I'm gonna be an optimist. End of September, it could reach this price where you bought at. So something like this could maybe happen. Although this is just my estimate, right? It's not gonna move exactly like that, but that's my price target for September. End of September. Beginning of September could be bearish. Usually starting October, stocks are up a bit. So, yeah. $10 donation from Big Mo. Cheers. What is the word on dollar ticker HIMS? Huh. HIMS. Somebody said Ethereum is mooning. Is it mooning? Yeah, it's up a percentage point. Yeah, Ethereum is mooning pretty much. Damn, that is crazy. HIMS, right? So what's happening with HIMS? Oh wow, this stock is dropping really fast. There must be a good reason for this happening. 1.5 billion market cap. Market cap of 1.5. It's actually dropping incredibly fast. I have no idea why though. Weird. Magdi's crossing. Price is not even budging. People just don't care. 1.5 billion market cap, no revenue. Well, they do have revenue. Look at that, Q1 2021. Their revenue was burnt up, like, instantaneously. Is an American telehealth company that sells prescription and over-the-counter drugs online. I have no idea what that's happening, though. I would really have to look into this. HMS medicines to your doorstep. Will you drink them? I'll check the short term on the technicals, which is, it looks like it's going to go sideways around this price range. Just go sideways for a little bit further. Palantir up 0.85%. Nice. C3 still negative. That kind of sucks. Robinhood going below 60 again. Yeah, so all I'm going to be able to say right here, I have no idea why this stock went down as fast as it did. Something must be going up with this. I think could rally back to 8.4, maybe 8.5. But I think it will mostly be range bound. I'm going to check the news right now for HIMS. I think there was some share dilution going on. Most probably. It will do good. It will do good. Tesla. What's happening with Tesla? Still sitting kind of flat at 713. Honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna say probably say between that 7 to 8, 7.7, 8.5 range. Although if there's a catalyst, it could move up higher because it's just incredibly low right now. We have earnings coming up. Q1 was good. I think Q2 could be good as well. You know, what am I saying? We have earnings coming up. It's around the 12th of August. So assuming that that we have proper CPI data, I think it could get back to around 10 for earnings. We'll have to see. Wait, Ethereum's going up? Really? Hold up. Oh yeah, Ethereum is going up really fast. My gosh. Yeah, there's this fork coming, right? So they're going to be splitting the Ethereum blockchain or something. That is probably what's affecting the price right now. Yeah, it's going up really fast. Even relative to other cryptos, it's Ethereum that's going up and everything else is going down still. Please, Microvision. What's happening to Microvision? Microvision heading up to 14.8, up 21%. I still think it's going to come down though, but it could be pumped up by Wall Street bets. Remember, we covered it right here. It went up all the way to this resistance. It is now sitting at 14.8, and I still think it's going to come down. At least retest this this zone right here. 14. And I think the main reason that it would come down is people are cautious for the actual CPI report that's coming up. What's happening for Tesla? Tesla's still flat. Robinhood, nothing really happening here. Value stocks go sideways. AMD finally heading down. Look at that. Remember what we said? It was going to come down to this trend line, and then the next. Oops. Yeah. Let me just delete this line. Let me delete everything. Yes, I think AMD could rally up further at this point. Although we had a tiny correction, but they had really good earnings, really good revenue, and relative to Nvidia, I think AMD is still cheap. And I think as Nvidia goes up, I think there's a good shot that AMD is going to be going up as well. So we could see one of these rallies that we've seen before. Something like, let's see if there's anything even remotely similar to this. Yeah, I think this right here. This rally that we had in July. I think we have to go to the past. So, oh my gosh. AMD is sitting so freaking high. It doesn't have to go down though. It could go down slightly, but it will just zoom back upwards. Because we had like 4 quarters, just absolutely beautiful earnings for AMD. It seems like it's not going to stop. What is going down right now? My portfolio is slowly heading down. Oh, it's DIDI that's going down. Oh my god. Really? DIDI's going down? That is fascinating. Okay. Apparently DIDI's heading down right now. It's down 4.1%. And this was the estimate. Alright, so initial downturn and then bounce from that low level. It's getting oversold right now on the 30 minutes. On the 4 hours, it's still neutral, so we'll see what happens next. I'm still up huge on DIDI, so I'm not even. I don't even care at this point. Maybe if it drops to 7 or 8, I might care a little bit, but still up massively. And so back to AMD. All right, so AMD is sitting 115. MACD is going to cross on the 4 hours. I think the next level, if it goes down further, could be around the 108, but I think it could bounce back as easily back to the 120s. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now for AMD. So a little bit more downside. And I think it could also go sideways for the most part. Gara, how much is your portfolio down? It's not down. It's actually up a lot. It's up a freaking lot because of Robinhood, because of DIDI, because of Tesla. It's down. The only part of the portfolio that's down is the C3.ai part, obviously, because that's been down for a while. But other than that, it's been a good couple of weeks. Yeah, time to buy Tesla. I think Tesla's cheap. I think Tesla's pretty cheap. It could drop a little bit further, but I'm personally dollar cost averaging on Tesla. I'll buy at 700 and 690. Like, it's gonna go up a lot for AI Day. So, but keep in mind the markets are still sitting pretty high. All right, Nasdaq, S&P both are at all-time highs. So we'll have to be cautious. And both are kind of moving sideways too. So it hits the all-time high and then pulls back right away. Omar says, "Hey Gara, I sent you some info regarding DIDI stock on Instagram chat. Looking forward to your feedback. Thanks." Oh boy, is it insider information? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Is Gara DIDI's down? Yeah, DIDI is down. Tesla's not cheap. I think Tesla's cheap right now. I really do think it's the case. People don't realize it yet, but we'll see. You know, soon when Tesla goes up to $900 again, all of the haters, all of the naysayers are going to buy Tesla stock at $900. It's going to be so funny. That's exactly what happened recently. Remember when we had that big push with Tesla stock moving to $900? Remember that? Everybody that was hating on Tesla bought the stock, and then what happened next? It went down 40%. It was hilarious. I mean, they got what they deserved. They're hating on Tesla. Meanwhile, Tesla's only trying to better the world with green energy and EVs. And obviously making tons of profit, but that's how companies have been. Alright, let's see. So I got a private message from somebody about DIDI. Oh, Tom Nash talking about DIDI. Right. I mean, that's just his opinion, right? So, we'll see what happens. I don't think Chinese stocks are going to be, like, all delisted or anything like that. And I think the ADRs, I mean, that's just, right, the structure that is, at the Cayman Islands, that's the process that Chinese companies undergo to go public in U.S. markets. I think we're already used to this. We haven't seen any big delistings so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if actually we would see a big rebound in Chinese stocks in the coming weeks. LM coming in with a €10 donation. Cheers. LM says, have you checked out the SPACs Palantir invested in and mergers related to them? Will you buy? Yeah, I think they invested in Joby. I think it was Joby, right? The RTP SPAC. I did invest some in RTP. Although it's like just a couple $1,000s, nothing significant. But yeah, I do think those SPACs, the reason that Palantir is investing in these SPACs, because if these companies become bigger later on, they could definitely, be like, hey, we need somebody to take care of the software side of the business, and Palantir could provide that service, and so it's very smart for Palantir to be doing that. Yeah, I think it's going to be quite successful, but it's more of a long-term play. We're talking 5 years, maybe 10 years. So short-term, we're not going to see much of a benefit from that. All right, AI going down again. 48.5. What can you do about it, eh? Palantir 22.5. Everything is heading up, but AI. Well, Chinese EV stocks are also down. Nobody wants the old C3.ai stock, apparently. That's just sad. Palantir is investing in Voso. Yeah, they're actually investing in Voso. I think Voso is going to be that... what was it? The SPAC regarding autonomous vehicles, I believe. Ethereum is exploding, somebody said. No, it's not. It's up 1.8%. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's exploding right now. That's a bit of an overstatement. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, by the way, I will give you a shout out if you follow me on Instagram or follow me on Twitter. Or join the Discord. I'll be sharing the link down below. So make sure you follow. Make sure you join the Discord. And I'll give you a shout out. Cheers. Let's see if I can give you the link right here. There we go. See, that's the Discord. See if I can find the Instagram. Yeah, the links are in the description. And yeah, we're like super active on the Discord. It's a community they can join for free. The Instagram is where I have these short posts, just, some posts that I upload every now and then on the Instagram. And on Twitter, obviously Twitter is just updates and posts about the stock market and stocks as well. So hit me up there. I will be giving you shoutouts. So make sure you follow the Instagram, the Twitter, and join the Discord. Links are down below in the description and also in the live chat. Tesla flat, Robinhood sitting at 62, Virgin Galactic 31.2 heading up because the Russell's heading up right now. C3.ai is down 1.3%. Classic. That is a classic. That is a classic. Oh my god. Isn't that gorgeous? Shout out to Afa and Upton Blunt for joining the Discord. Cheers. What's happening here with... Yeah, so the overall market is green, but we're seeing none of these stocks go up much. It's just a tiny move to the upside for most of these stocks, like a percentage point or something. Which is good. I mean, it's not bad. I can't complain about that. Gara, will AI drop to 45-ish? I mean, at this point, I mean, it could possibly happen, drop very briefly, but I don't think it's going to stay there very long. Because any kind of slight positive news will push the stock price like a lot higher. So let's check Palantir. Palantir still heading up. Good stuff. Let me check my portfolio. Looking pretty good. Bloody hell. Can you check Lucid? Yesterday on Facebook, one of the Lucid guys came out saying crash tests were still coming out very soon, and over 11,000 pre-orders. I believe they will announce deliveries as rumored by 23rd. They can have 11,000 pre-orders, but they can't deliver. They don't have the capacity to deliver these vehicles, so they might deliver 1,000 this year, max, right? And that's one of the reasons why the stock has been sitting so flat, because they cannot deliver the vehicles. They can't produce them. Alright. Big banks are up 1%. BNGO, Nano Dimension, both 2% to the upside. Recovery stocks are shooting. Look at that. American Airlines up 4.2%. CCL up 4.9%. Hilton kind of sideways. But yeah, BNGO skyrocketing too. Now, I wouldn't say skyrocketing, I would say slowly heading up now. Tesla coming back down. Sitting at 711.8. Yeah, I mean, that's just so unfortunate. I have no idea why this C3.ai stock is just, it's been a bit of a abomination just the past couple of months. Sitting at a 5 billion market cap. Yeah, they don't have that much revenue either, so it does make sense. And they haven't been coming out with any kind of updates. They have a quarterly revenue of about 50 million, so burning more revenue as of Q4. Burning more cash, sorry. So that was a bit of a... All right. Palantir going up. We have a $5 donation from Omar Al Yassin, and Omar says, "Thanks for your feedback. Enjoying the stream. Heads up." Cheers. Thank you so much for that donation. Yeah, I'm still very bullish on DIDI, regardless of anybody saying that Chinese stocks are going to go down or up. I think Chinese stocks are here to stay. Danny coming in with a €2 donation. Danny says Alibaba until the year end looks very cheap right now. I think there's a good shot that if Alibaba's revenue is going to go back up. Oh, revenue. That's what I typed. I'm actually hearing a lot of noise here in the background because somebody's probably moving. I think if their revenue starts going back up for Q3, Q4, we could definitely see Alibaba come back to around 300s again in the last 2 quarters of this year, the latter part of this year. We're talking like probably around December, if it happens. That would be a 50% gain if that happens. That would be pretty amazing. This is just based off of what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. Oh. Based off of the weekly chart, it just makes plenty of sense. It's down a lot on the MACD, on the RSI. When it usually bottoms out at this range, I mean, we've seen 50% rallies before, back to back, 40% rally here, another 87 right there. So long as the Chinese government is not going to go all crazy on Alibaba, I think it will be fine. DD still down 3.5%. Oh boy. Tesla's coming back up. Juicy. Palantir coming back up as well. That is cool. C3 is coming back up now, sitting at 49. Igerino coming in with a €2.3 donation. Thank you. True price value of BNGO not based on technicals. The true price, well, it depends. I mean, the market conditions allow BNGO to be sitting at $6 and $10, etc. But if we would just look at fundamentals, BNGO, I mean, they don't have any revenue. They don't have anything. They have 8.5 million in revenue. They're burning 41 million. We're not even seeing the revenues go up. They're actually burning more and more money. If we were to see market crash, I wouldn't be surprised at all if BNGO would come back to around $2, maybe even lower than that. I'll say $1.5 to $2. That could be a possibility, right? But we're considering, technicals. We're considering that the market conditions are bullish right now for growth stocks for the coming months, and that's why it's sitting at the current valuation of 1.6 billion. If it wasn't for that, then of course BNGO would be sitting way lower. So yeah, that's the only answer I can really give. And this is with a lot of these growth stocks. Once CPI comes up a lot, or we have a market correction, they're going to deflate. They're going to become really cheap. Robinhood coming back up. Look at that. 63.2. I'm going to short it if it goes above 65 again. Probably. AI goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes... It's so sad. Just waiting for that to happen. DD's coming back up slightly. Bouncing from the 9.3 support. One moment. How is your new place? How does it feel to be independent? Oh, it's been a hassle. I've been struggling with getting my stuff into the apartment. Doing the groceries and everything. But in some sense, it does give a lot of freedom. So I'm enjoying that freedom, and I'm making use of that. It's going to help out with the streams and with the channel like a lot. Also, a shout out to Prakash and Bujamin for following the Instagram. Cheers. And I think I'm also going to be wrapping up this current live stream. We've been live for almost 2 hours, so I think it's right about time. I think today, once more, one of these sideways days, prior to CPI. So the coming days are not going to be that exciting. Maybe a day prior to CPI or right after CPI, we could see some huge momentum. But there's also a chance that the indices actually are going to drop right before the CPI. So being very cautious. I've got 40% of my portfolio just in cash. The rest of it in stocks, growth stocks, tech stocks, etc. Small caps that are oversold. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back in a couple hours. And check out the Discord, the social medias, the Instagram, the Twitter. And I'll see you guys in roughly 3 hours for the second stream. So yeah, see you soon.